Alright, based off of a suggestion I received, today I am here with two co-hosts. We've got KitArchen,
Oh.
and then we've got Eseral, aka Ian, who will be called Ian for the remainder of this video.
Hello.
And today we are going to be talking about some of the games we've cleared, and then we'll finish up by talking about both our Game of the Year for 2025 and a new experience from years prior that we consider something akin to a Game of the Year for us. Would anybody like to start?
I mean, you're the main host.
Yeah. I think you should get a ball rolling here.
Fair enough. So, looking at my list, talk about a few games I've cleared besides, just Game of the Year stuff. I did complete Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic earlier, and that was not a good experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that game was like, I don't know. I've ranted about this before on the FNAF video I made, but like that game really feels like something like Scott wanted to turn the book into a fucking game for whatever reason, and Steel Wool just did not want to do it, so they just shat that game out. Whereas like Security Breach had its problems, sure, both in the story and the gameplay, but it felt like they wanted to make a good game with that game. It just got screwed by its development cycle. Secret of the Mimic was just like a Poppy's Playhouse knockoff and not a good one.
Right.
Yeah, I played through Atomic Heart, that was a very mixed bag of a game. Had some weird DLC too. Like one of them was literally CS:GO surfing or 1.6 surfing of all things. Like, I'm not even kidding. Half the map you're just flying around on the ramp trying to keep from falling off, and you're just flying through the air. It's like it is so antithetical to the rest of the game.
Okay, just trying to make sure that I remember which game that is. That's the one where you're like fighting a bunch of androids that go rogue, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, that game is very much a mixed bag. Sadly enough, they're still missing a DLC, which is supposed to come out before the second game does, but I don't know.
Wait, they're making a sequel?
Yep.
What do you mean? Okay. Alright.
I mean, I'm hoping they learned some of the lessons from the first one. If they did, it could have turned out to be pretty decent. I mean, again, the first one's not bad. It's just, it's got some issues.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have
It's
to
not
be release
great.
date yet.
So
Ian over here doing his research.
I also played through War Pips, was something that was gifted to me as something that was part of a Humble Bundle from, I believe, last month. Or maybe it was the month before, one of the two.
No, it wasn't last month. It was a couple months ago, because, slight tangent here, because I feel like I need to rant about this a little bit. Humble Bundle has done two things that I do not like that they did this year. The first is they raised the price. That's not cool. Especially since I didn't get notified about that until I went to go pay for a month. Randomly, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this 15 now instead of 12? And the other thing is they made the keys expire about a year after that month passes. So, War Pips was the only thing I didn't want, so I gifted it. Because I'm like, if I don't, it's just gonna get wasted.
Yeah.
Plus to that, like, I looked into that game because I saw Chicks had been playing it for a minute. Like, yeah, that definitely seemed down Chicks' alley.
Oh, War Pips?
Yeah, definitely seemed like something you would.
Well, normally it wouldn't be because it's actually a roguelike. I was actually kind of surprised at it. This is one of the few roguelikes I ended up liking. I mean, it's more of a roguelite than a like, but still.
I missed it was a roguelike. I thought it was just pretty, just kind of like a slightly streamlined RTS.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, it is,
not.
but it does have roguelike elements. You can, like,
Gotcha.
game over and have to restart the whole thing.
Well, that's fun.
I mean, to be fair,
It
I
is
didn't know
pretty
it was
it is
like
it does have multiple
either.
difficulties, and it's pretty forgiving, but it's got those elements. Like, again, this is like one of the few I ended up liking. Yeah, I played through.
I made a good pick.
Yep. See, I also played through Rift Apart for the first time finally. Played through ZA.
Remind me what that is?
Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, right. Sorry. I was like, huh? What is that? That sounds vaguely familiar. And then you said Ratchet Clank, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we also played through Bonanza a while back in co-op. And speaking of co-op, we also played through, or KitArchen and I also played through Good Job, Stretchers, and Part-Time UFO, which are three co-op focused Nintendo games that were released digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Quick. How would you rank each of them? Like, ranking all three of them, how would you go?
Good Job was definitely the best of them, and probably also the most playable single player. Not that I played those games single player, but that seems like to be the most playable in single player. After that, I'd say Part-Time UFO in the middle, and Stretchers is probably the worst of the three, though I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just kind of okay.
That is pretty much how I rank those three games as well.
And
I also had those in my list.
It's also like, we also finished playing through Snipper Clips while you're down here as well, because we started that a few years ago, didn't finish it, and then finally came back to it. Oh, I do not like that game.
Yeah, I definitely remember one time, I don't remember the exact details, but I basically caused the entire stage by accident to reset, and I just am like, flop over embarrassment, then you slowly turn to look at me like, really? Did you really just do that? Yeah, neither of us had the greatest experience with that one.
Yeah. Since I got a PS5 finally this year, I also played through Astro's Playroom and Astrobot. Astro's Playroom being a pretty impressive free game, and Astrobot honestly deserved the Game of the Year title for that year. I don't care what certain YouTubers say. That's probably the...
Board did not have a lot of competition.
It really didn't, but still, that's still one of the best non-Mario 3D platformers I've ever seen. Like, I don't say it's like I'm not gonna say it's like on par with like Galaxy or something, but at the very least, it's probably just as good, if not better, than Sunshine.
I definitely feel like it's of note that when people were discussing Bonanza back in July, it was something that was still coming up. Which, mind you, it's still pretty recent, but like, I've definitely seen some 3D platformers, even some big ticket ones, come and go that like people aren't even talking about them 6 months on from the line.
Well, I think part of the reason why Astrobot kept getting brought up is it did actually get quite a few free content updates after launch.
Yeah, that as well. I think those were still stretching out.
I think the last one of them was earlier this year, in fact.
Yeah, no, I think it was this summer.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Yeah. Two more things to note I did play through, I mean, we both played through Mario Kart World when it first came out, but I also played through the entirety of the Spyro series for the first time, apart from, the first three, because I had played the original as a kid, and we did play through the Reignited trilogy last year.
So we originally started recording that, I believe, in 2023. It took about 2 years for all three parts to come out.
Right.
Because the last episode that came out the very beginning of August, before I went on summer break.
Uh-huh. See, another unfortunate clear was Cubivore, and that's probably one of the worst Nintendo games I've ever played.
Morbid Curiosity still wants me to try it.
You can, but man, it's not good. As I said before, I'll give it points for creativity, but it is not a good game.
I know, but morbid curiosity still wants me to try it at least once.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then I could say, okay, yep, you're right, this is bad.
Yeah, the last thing I can really point to is I did play through. I did finish playing catch up for all the damn Pokemon games this year. According to this, the last one I actually finished was back in May.
That sounds about right to me.
I was gonna say, what Pokemon games specifically did you do this year? Because I know you started doing that last year.
I mean,
I was trying to remember which ones you did this year specifically.
I think I might have finished Scarlet and Violet this year, but I know the last one that's like marked as completed, apart from Friends and ZA, was the Mystery Dungeon games and what was it? Conquest.
Right.
Yeah, I did a bunch of the spin-offs to finish up, but the last main line I did was, if I can find it. No, that's Let's Go. That's not the last one I played. Unless I just forgot to mark it.
I can see that.
I might have forgotten to mark it, but yeah, I played Sword. I finished in February. Oh, here's Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet I finished in March.
I'm curious about something. How much do you say you would, time-wise, have spent in each of those games?
I mean, I've got the clear data is about a month and apart, but that's also including the DLCs.
Right.
I want to say I spent about 40-ish hours in 40 to 50 in Sword and Shield, and probably about 50-ish in Scarlet and Violet. Probably maybe a bit longer, maybe 60.
Right, because I was thinking about the fact that when I started the Pokemon Scarlet playthrough, I was like, sure, this isn't going to be that long, right? Right?
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, open world be doing that to you.
Pokemon game. Yeah, I'll say open world Pokemon game. That's how it's gonna go.
I mean, that's not particularly relevant for this, because we're talking about stuff we did this year, and Pokemon was finished recording wise last year, I want to say, or maybe it was late 2023. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
And yeah, it definitely took a lot of time to get through all that footage.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of it.
Yeah, now I just reached the part where I started adding games. I just started adding games because I didn't start using Infinite Backlog until early this year, because I was using a different thing for game clearing, and I was still using I was still using Black Logger, and then moved to Infinite Backlog like in January.
I was gonna say, I think you were using Backloggery for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Which, like, I have a Backloggery account too, but I've, like, barely done anything with it.
Yeah. So, does anyone want to go next?
You can go ahead if you'd like, Kit.
Oh,
wow, we're
sure.
both offering at each other.
I mean, I'm gonna skip around on my list too, because there is a good chunk of it that's just a repeat of Jiggers. I got.
Oh, sorry. You got two.
So I'll say that, like, part of the reason why I decided to do a spreadsheet this year was I was like, okay, I'm curious, how much stuff do I actually complete gameplay-wise in a year, just in general? Because, like, one of the big reasons why my channel even exists in the first place is because I'm such a chronic unfinisher when it comes to games. So I was just trying to see if actually doing the channel was actually improving my success rate on completing games. So my spreadsheet's actually pretty accurate to the date, literally.
Right.
It is kind of interesting looking through the list, because I realize a lot more first party or major party games than I realized I had done, because like I did Echoes of Wisdom. I finished that as one of the first things this year, which I will actually say is very close to potentially toppling my favorite Zelda game of all time. It's very close. Very close.
It was a pretty good game, but I'm not sure I'd take it that far.
I mean, it was better opinion than one of the other Zeldas I covered this year, which was Link's Awakening. I like it. It was fine, but there's definitely some things about it that like have not aged well in regards to that game that I would think they would have like changed about the re-release, and it didn't. It's largely, from my understanding, pretty much the exact same game, except it's got better graphics. Which would be fine if it weren't for the fact that there's several times where I literally had to turn to Jigger and be like, what am I supposed to be doing here?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the exact same game, but I guess. But it's also got like the most important part of it is it's got some UI and quality of life improvements that were very, very much needed from the Game Boy games. Because being able to have both your sword and shield out and an item is so much more important than only having 2 buttons to work with.
I guess.
Because if you want to use like your sword and like the boomerang, guess what? No shield for you.
What probably didn't help me was the fact that I played Link's Awakening after Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah,
that's probably should not have done that. Because then it felt like I was playing a significant downgrade. So. I mean, I also have things that I covered for the channel that I actually officially game cleared. Like Yoshi's Island.
Ooh.
That I probably will not touch again for a very long time. Like, I seriously questioned how many people watching my channel were like, is this girl okay? Because of how many times I got frustrated. And, like, there's definitely things I cut out because I feel like, A, it was getting way too repetitive showing my frustration, and B, I might have gone a little too far. Or looked a little too insane. Like, I get why people love Yoshi's Island, but as someone who is not particularly good at 2D platformers, or frankly most platformers in general, it just was not the game for me. And if it weren't for the fact that I was playing it on NSO, I really don't think I would have been able to finish the game, probably. Because those save states and that rewind feature really kind of saved my butt a few times from not going completely insane.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like, I feel bad a bit just being like, yeah, I didn't like Yoshi's Island because, again, I know it is a popular older Mario game. I do know that, but it's just like, this game's just not for me. And like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean like somebody else might enjoy it. I'm not saying that. It's just for me personally, it was not a good experience. It's probably the most like annoyed / frustrated I have been in a Let's Play project to this day.
I mean, it does have some wonky jump physics that you kind of have to get used to. Plus the fact that the game is sort of a pseudo escort quest through the whole. Well, maybe not an escort quest, but you still have to deal with like catching him every time he either gets stolen or gets knocked off you from taking a hit, which can. That and the annoying, obnoxious crying he makes every time you do take a hit does not really help deal with anxiety issues, I guess. Plus I don't know. It's like I think the game's pretty good, but it is a bit overrated. Like, if you want a good Yoshi game, then Woolly World's right over there.
Yeah, that's another game I still haven't finished. Oops.
They
Should
should port
fix
it to
that.
Switch.
I am actually kind of surprised that it's not been ported to Switch.
I don't think they're
No,
going to because it's also on the
No, at this
3DS.
point,
Yeah,
at this
true.
point, I think they have minimal interest in doing so. I think the 3DS port was a bit too close to the Switch release that they just kind of moved on, and by the time they might have done so otherwise, there's Crafted World. And like, yeah, I definitely get not wanting to have those two on the shelves at the same time, because they are, certainly from cover-wise, just looking at them, not substantially different.
Yeah.
Gameplay-wise, definitely are substantially different, but conceit-wise, appears.
Yeah. Actually, surprisingly enough, there was quite a few, like, video game series I tried entries for the first time, like Persona series. I did Persona 4 Golden, which I think was the longest game for me to finish this year. Like, to put into perspective, I finished Link's Awakening, which was a game I finished before it on April 1st, 2025. My clear date for Golden is May. So it took me almost 2 months to finish it. And if I recall correctly, I had over 100 hours in that game, which is funny because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Chigger, didn't you think I was only going to take me like 60 hours?
Well, I said 65, 70, I believe, because I was basing that off of my clear time from playing the original, but, you know, Golden has a whole new dungeon, a whole new month, and new events added to the existing months.
Yeah, that's true, but still, I don't think that, like, adds an additional 30 hours on its own. I just find it a little amusing because you're like, I don't think it's going to take you 100 hours.
I'm scared to see what P5 does. Because that game does take
Yeah.
100 hours.
Yeah, I've started Persona 5. I've not gotten very far in it, though.
Got past the penises!
Yes. Yes, I have.
Which I told you that thing doesn't even really look like that much of one in that game.
You're right, it doesn't. It does look more like a common slime kind of thing more than anything, but yeah, still. I didn't know it looked like that. Another series I played the first game of was Katamari Damacy.
Ooh.
Well, okay, that's not technically true. I started Katamari Damacy, like, I don't know, a year or two ago. And then this year I'm like, nah, I'm actually gonna restart and actually finish it this time. And physic weirdness aside at times, it's honestly a pretty decent game. Like, for such a basic concept of just rolling a bunch of stuff up to make a giant ball of basically garbage, if you think about it, it's actually pretty fun. I think that took me like 10 hours in comparison to Persona 4 Golden. Significantly shorter. Oh yeah, I did finish Miitopia this year, didn't I? Yeah, I did do that. I don't know, like, Miitopia is fine. It's for what it is, it's pretty alright game. But I would be lying if I didn't repeatedly forget I played that this year. It's probably the most forgettable of all the games I covered this year.
That's more than fair.
And this is coming from someone who never played any of the, like, what is it called? Tamagotchi or
Tamagotchi
no, not
Life.
Tamagotchi. Tomodachi Life?
Yeah.
To be fair, they're only really connected in regards to they have Mii's doing silly
Yeah, they're both
things.
me-focused games. That's about it.
I guess that's true.
Like, they're part of the same Me/Wii series, but one is an RPG, one is a life sim.
Yeah.
Right. Let me see. I'm gonna skip over a little bit. Nobody Saves the World. Strange title, strange game, but honestly pretty good. I think Chigger saw me play the most of this game,
Wait,
or a
which
good
game?
chunk of it. Nobody Saves the
Nobody
World.
saved the world.
Remind me what that was again?
That's the one where you can transform into different characters.
Right.
Like you can transform to a rat, a horse, an archer, that sort of
Right.
thing.
Yeah, that game was weird.
It was weird, but it was actually fairly good. The main complaint I had was like the difficulty scaling was a bit weird at times, I feel. Like there were quite a few early dungeons that just seemed like outrageously hard for what they were.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time you get to the end, when you're running to the more difficult dungeons, they were kind of cakewalks. And I don't know if that's just because you have more stuff available to you or what. But I feel like at least some of the earlier dungeons probably could have benefited from like being toned down a little bit. Because there was a couple of times where I think I just had to like step away from specific dungeons and either go deal with other dungeons or go level up. To try to see if I can get some better abilities on various characters to make it easier.
Uh-huh.
But like other than that, I pretty much had a pretty fun time with it. Which is interesting because like I think the only reason I picked up the game in the first place was on a recommendation from a Twitch streamer. And then I didn't touch it for like 2 years. And then this year I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I owned this. I should probably play this.
Yeah, that's a mood.
Man, why didn't I play this sooner?
Is the backlog experience.
It is. It really be that way.
It is definitely, especially since me personally, I have a lot of like games that I'm just like I take one look and I'm like, this thing is going to be a minimum of 20 to 30 hours, if not longer. Because I have a lot of like Pokemon creature taming-esque type titles on Steam just alone, and it's like, oh yeah, none of these are going to be short. So if I want to do these, I would need to commit to actually trying to finish it.
Yeah, that's a mood.
And there's definitely some that I'm like, some of these are a minimum of 20 to 30, some of these are potentially as long as an actual Pokemon game, potentially.
I don't know
But yeah.
if you guys end up getting this too much, but there's definitely like some games where like I will have bought them like 2, 3 some years ago. Yet when I get to the time that I'm playing them, it's like definitely like, okay, no, actually this was somehow the perfect time for me to be playing this game. Like somehow this was like I had all these experiences since then, and now that I'm playing this game, I'm actually like ready to properly experience it and appreciate it.
No, I've
than I
been
would have
there.
been when I initially bought it.
Yeah, no, I'd say I've been there too. I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head, but no, I think I can relate.
I mean, I guess kind of with Pokemon for me, some of the later ones, since I did pick up the Switch games like a while before I actually got around to playing them, because I was like, I should probably pick these up now before they become like stupid like the DS games are.
No, I it's, yeah.
There's a Black and White
Black
2.
and White. I was about to say Black and White 2 is like probably one of the worst ones. That and Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Yeah. I think this is part of. I think that's part of the reason why.
Gale
a
of
lot
Darkness and
Pokemon
Coliseum are probably the worst two, though.
Oh yeah, no, totally. But as I was saying, I think that's part of the reason why a lot of Pokemon fans do kind of want to see a remake of Black and White or Black and White 2, because it's so expensive to get those legitimately now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, looks like we will not be getting that for a while. Or at least
Probably not.
Nah, after the way the Gen 4 remakes went, they might be done with the remakes.
I
Eh,
hope not. But it definitely doesn't seem like.
I don't think they're done with them. I think they're just gonna take a break.
Although, of course, very much rumor I heard. But like, in theory, there were some rumors going around that Pokopia started off as a Let's Go follow-up.
I could see that.
And yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, I definitely see in the art style. That, like, okay, I could see where they started out with Let's Go. There,
Mhm.
that's still very much not a whole lot of credence beyond kind of looking at it. Someone could have done as much, like, oh yeah, that art style looks similar, and just put out that rumor, so no credence whatsoever. But I don't know, it does kind of seem like we would have been in a good position to get a remake as well here pretty soon, but maybe stuff just didn't pan out that way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know though. Sorry.
Because based off of like rumors and leaks that are going around, like I'm not gonna get into too much detail about that, but it sounds like probably the next thing that is gonna be like announced from the Pokemon Company in terms of a new game outside of Pokopia is probably gonna be Generation 10.
It makes too much sense for it to not, like, unless they actually do pull like what they did with the early Switch release, in which they came some kind of Let's Go. They do end up putting out some kind of Let's Go like esque remake first, and then the next generation. But I doubt it. I think we're gonna see like after Pokopia the Gen 10.
I would not be surprised if Gen 10 gets announced in February. I'm really not gonna be surprised.
So Ian, how about your clears?
Oh, I wasn't.
Oh, I thought you were. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was not done. Sorry. I will be quick.
No, don't rush yourself.
Well, like a good chunk of this
No,
stuff
I thought you were
like
done because we
repeats.
started going off of Pokemon, so...
No, sorry. It's like, I'm gonna have to skip a little bit because, like, I also have Astrobot on my list too, which, yeah, it's really good. If you haven't played it, you should. Assuming you can.
Yeah.
Don't just get a PS5 just for Astrobot.
No.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna buy a PlayStation Portal.
That's even worse.
Half the price is a PS5.
I also played the first Ratchet and Clank game, although it was specifically the reboot, not the original. And I actually enjoyed that one.
It is kind of funny that we both played that the reboot was our first Ratchet and Clank game of all things for both of us. Because I also played the reboot before I played any of the other games.
Well, I don't know if you even have the original.
No, I do. I've got the trilogy, or the HD trilogy.
Oh yeah. Well, you recommended the reboot.
Yeah, it's easier to get into than the first one was, even though, like, as I said before, the first one has better development for, like, the story than the reboot does, and it has more planets, but the reboot just streamlines it so much better into a more, consistent experience, I guess. I don't know, I just prefer the reboot over the original.
I was very proud of myself. I didn't have to ask for your help even once with that one. Even though you did get a bit
lost to deal with the octopus brains, but other than that, no, you didn't.
Remind me about the octopus brain thing.
That's the fire planet where you have to collect like 50 of them.
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't have to collect 50 of them. You just have to get the final reward for doing so. You only have to get like, I think you only have to get like 10 or 20 of them.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I did forget that I think I had you either look it up or something for that one, because it was just like we were down to, what was it, like 5? And we were like, where on earth are these
Something
last
like that.
5?
No,
But
that
where I
is
was,
the one part of the remake I don't like, is that brain hunt.
but I think after the credits rolled, you admitted that you were worried you were gonna have to beat the final boss for me.
Yeah, it's a bit tough.
Because I died, what was it, like 5 times on that thing?
I don't know.
It was a fair few deaths. Yeah, skipping around because I also have like snipper clips, part-time UFO, structures, and good job. And basically my sentiment with those are pretty much the same as yours. I also played the first Danganronpa this year. Which that's an interesting game, I will say.
But a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It is so dark though. It is so dark. Like, wow, that is dark. I mean, I had issues with some of the like mini game things that they make you do during like the court scenes. So that kind of like was a bit of a downer for me. But other than that, I enjoyed my time with it. And that was definitely one of those games where I realized, oh, I can't narrate this for myself. I need to just shut up and read. Which sucks because like I am less likely to retain like stuff like that. That's the big reason why I narrate as much as I do in my videos, is to help me remember things.
Yeah, you very much seem like an auditory learner.
Oh, I am. There's definitely been a few times when I'm editing something, I'm like, oh, I didn't read that out loud, and it shows that I don't remember that. Stares at the Pikmin playthrough, where I'm pretty sure spent the entire game not knowing how to do the command group thing. The entire game. Even though the game tells you, like, right from the get-go you can do that. Oops.
No, accidentally giving yourself a challenge.
Not
Not being able to control the Pikmin like that and trying to go up anywhere. That had to have been fun.
Well, like, what's really bad, and I'm pretty sure, like, right now I have up through episode 8, like, done. But I'm pretty sure throughout the entire playthrough, both of us are just like, man, I thought for sure the group thing was a mechanic in this game. And it's like, it is. You just didn't read that thing correctly about it. Anyway, I only have a couple things left on my list I want to talk about. Like Princess Peach Showtime, which is a game. It is a game. Like, I don't know, I feel like between the three of us, I probably have the most negative opinion of Princess Peach Showtime,
Based
which
on our
sucks,
previous discussions, probably.
Which sucks because, like, I wanted to like it, but there's quite a few things I'm like, oh, this really brings the game down. Like, if it was just a game about, oh, this is very clearly geared towards little kids, that'd be one thing. But the thing I realized throughout the entire thing is there's just a huge swing of difficulty spikes all over the place, which is like, okay, is this a game geared towards children? Or is this a game geared towards like teenagers / young adults? Because I can't tell.
Yeah.
And then there's some of the like sections of the game that was just like not fun for me in the slightest, like the detective and the superhero Phantom Thief, whatever it was supposed to be. I think it was Phantom Thief, basically.
I
I
think
didn't
it's
like
just called Thief.
those.
I think.
Yeah. I don't remember. That was this summer. That was like 6 months ago. Give or take.
Whether it's to me, that whole experience, like, well, that was a game. Okay, I guess. Very,
Yeah.
very mid there, good feel.
Yeah. Yeah. It really was.
Oh man, I need to remember the other game. Because like they made a 3D platformer that wasn't Nintendo licensed, was actually supposedly good.
I didn't even know they'd made anything that wasn't Nintendo-y since since Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
3D. No, yeah, they've made a couple of things.
While you're
Oh,
looking
man.
that up, then I'll briefly talk about the
Google
other
AI,
good.
I hate.
I'll talk about the other good feel game that I played after that, which was Wario Land Shake It. That one, I do feel kind of lost some points just because of me trying to rush through it.
I mean, again, to be fair, like, the problem for you was the boss fights, which, to me, that's, like, the only negative of the game, is the boss fights are just kind of,
Well, not only that, but there was a bunch of, like, money grinding sessions we had to do because I was blazing through the stages so fast because we were worried about running out of time. Because, like, we did that as one of the last games before I had to head home. So I only had, like, 1 day to play this game. And, I would like to give Wario Land Shake It another try sometime down the line when I'm not rushing through it. Because I feel like I might score it a little better if I wasn't being rushed. I kind of feel bad that I did. I will say, though, that game has some amazing bops.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack for Shake It is, like, really freaking good. That was that and Woolly World are, like, the best things. Like, not only the best games that Goodfield made, but they both have really good soundtracks.
Like, every once in a while, I'll catch myself still, like, silently bobbing to the first submarine stage's music.
That's because that's the stage we used to grind on.
I know, but it's still like, okay, yep. Even though we listened to that song a lot, I still like it a lot.
Fair enough.
Legend ZA. Yep. I played that one too. Funnily enough, I was in the middle of trying to start working on the DLC before we start this recording. I'll get to it later. The only other 2 things I have on here are Viewfinder, which was a recommendation from my older sibling that I finally got around to this year. And Okami HD, because we finished recording that, like, literally several days ago. Because I kind of wanted to admittedly slip that in at the end before we did this, funnily enough. That and I wanted to make sure it was done before the end of the year,
Yeah.
so... Viewfinder was honestly a really good short puzzle game. I think I only had to look up like a couple solutions because I was just tunneling a little too much in some places. But honestly, I really enjoyed that game. It's not too long either. I think it took me like 5-ish hours, 6-ish hours to do it. Give or take. So if you're looking for something like short and puzzly, heavy recommendation. Pretty good recommendation. And then Okami. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna kind of briefly echo some of the things that was brought up at the end of the last recording session. The story's good. I like the story.
Aliens.
Aliens. I don't like the Force mini games because I think some of them kind of suck. And I don't like the fact that you have to fight several of the bosses multiple times.
That's Crapcom for you.
And and honestly, the bosses are kind of the weakest part of the game in general. Because so much of it is just waiting until you can, like, actually attack the boss. Or just wailing on it enough times till you can finally actually do damage to it.
That's one thing nice about the Mega Man games, is even though those all have freaking forced boss rushes, at least with their bosses, you can, outside of a couple exceptions, you can usually just wail on them as much as you can hit them. Or as much as you have the ability to hit them. There's no times where you have to, like, wait for them to do something.
Yeah, because, like, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure you fight Spider Queen 3 times, and then you fight Orochi also 3 times. And I'm like, I get it, Orochi is kind of like the big bad, but, like, the fight is so long. And it's like, you just spend so much time waiting for an opportunity to get the different heads drunk so you can then wail on the heads. Like, I think every single fight, if I were to put it into one giant video, which I'm not going to do, obviously, I think would probably be over 30 minutes just for fighting Orochi. Which sucks, because, like, other than those two things, I think the story's fine. And the gameplay itself is fine. You're gonna have tons of options on, like, how you want to play it, because you have the different weapon types and such. Because, like, I rock the beads pretty much most of the time after a certain point. And I obviously didn't have too many issues, because, at the end, they do give you, like, a tally of, like, how much money you made, how many enemies killed, how many times you game over. I only game over once. It was very early in the game. So it's not like I was having issues in that regards either. So, yeah, it's just a bit of a bummer that there's 2 parts that just, like, kind of ruin it.
So anyway, see you guys for the Okami 2 Let's Play.
We don't even know when that's even coming out.
Yeah, but still. Y'all could do the DS game in the meantime.
Oh boy. Yeah, it might be a bit before I even think about that. I mean, watch it be like, I finish getting all of Okami out, and then it's like, oh look, the new second game's coming out in like 6 months. I'm like, god dang it.
I mean, that's given that it was announced at the Game Awards last year, right?
Was that last year? I thought it was 2 years ago.
It was either last year or the previous year. Either way, I would not be surprised to see an update on it at the Game Awards too.
Oh shoot, when is that? Is that tonight?
Thursday. Tomorrow night.
Oh, it's the 11th?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, watch me eat my words, because I'm like, nah, there's no way there's gonna be an announcement on Okami. And then it's like, oh, no, we're announcing that Okami E2 is coming out, and we have a date. Okay, I'm done now.
Alrighty. So definitely a part of the first end of the games I played this year were pretty heavily affected by my health struggles at that time. There's a lot of games where I think maybe if I went back to them now, I'd have slightly less negative opinions on it. But I started off the year with 9 Souls, and I think it's still like my least favorite game I've played this year. And like there are definitely far worse, like just objectively worse games. But like, man, it hurts that that's like such a well-designed Metroidvania that has a combat system I just so vehemently despise. It's all so heavily focused around the parrying system, and it actively punishes you if your parries aren't accurate, 100% accurate. Because you'll
Wait,
oh, sorry.
Is that the one with the little fox creature that
Yeah,
you
that's the
play
one
as?
that's on Humble Bundle right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it has a really bloody strict parrying system because like it'll let you parry if you aren't 100%, but it'll like chip away at your health to the point where it'll kind of like do. I know it's a mechanic that appears in other games, but it like won't chip away at your health, but will kind of like do a dent in your bar, and the next hit will do like a whole bunch of damage. So if you're not successfully parrying, it means basically every boss one-shots you. And it's just I don't care for parry systems. I don't find them very satisfying, and this game is kind of like the epitome of that for me, where it's just like I don't find this parry very satisfying, and it's like endlessly punishing.
Yeah,
and I'm sure for people who do find that sort of thing satisfying, this game is fantastic. But for me, it's just sorry, you were saying, Chigs?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, it's like, this is why I'm always complaining about how every freaking indie game has to be a Souls-like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, if you would remove the... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, there's at one point where you're ranting about that in Okami.
Mm-hmm. It's annoying. I don't like Souls-like games. Like, I get why people do, but, like, not every game has to be made hard because it's a strict parry system. This is also why I think Metroid Dread is kind of overrated, and why I will take the fan remake of Metroid 2 over the official reimagining of it.
Okay, but to be fair to Metroid Dread here, and something I will bring up later as well, is that you can kind of ignore Dread's parry system. Like,
for the most part, yeah, unless you get caught by the survey bots.
Yeah, but like outside of that, you just don't really have to interact with it if you don't want to, and I think I'm okay with that because I also didn't find that parry all that satisfying, but it's also just kind of like I just didn't use it unless it was necessity, and the times when it was necessity, it wasn't particularly punishing outside of the Emmy.
Yeah, I mean,
robots,
don't get me wrong, like Dread is pretty good, but like it did not need the parry. It did not need the parry system.
No, I mean, that was definitely a holdover from Samus Returns, which also probably didn't need it.
That one definitely didn't need it, and that one kind of forces it on you.
Yeah, definitely better than what it was in Samus Returns.
Man, you're doing a great job making me consider.
I mean, as I keep saying, try Zero Mission first, and then Prime 1, and then make your decision on that.
Right.
But yeah, beyond that, I started the game with a bunch of holdovers I had from, or started the year with a bunch of holdovers I had from last year. So I finally got through WarioWare Move It sometime in February. And
yeah, I remember you got through that.
It's pretty okay. I don't think I like it as much as Get It Together. But I also kind of like, I understand what problems people have with Get It Together, but I still really...
Yeah, Get It Together is pretty decent.
Like the characters did enough of a decent job making things unique that I was okay with some of the micro games being a bit standardized and streamlined. Because like I definitely get where coming from like Touched or the OG that like that had so much weird crazy stuff, and each micro game could be just like so entirely different, or just like different genre, or just like one could be a 2D side scroller and that could be like a Star Fox style on-rail shooter sort of thing, and you just weren't getting that and Get It Together because you had to make it so all the characters would at least work within the micro game. But I felt like the characters themselves made enough.
It gives variety.
Penny that like Penny does take a second to actually figure out how you need to be moving and approaching each micro game. That didn't bug me too much, but
Yeah,
and
and
again, I had a pretty good time. with Move It.
Meanwhile, I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't both of us actually think Move It was better than Get It Together?
No.
Oh, maybe that was my opinion.
No, for me, like, Move It's like a very much a middle game. Like, it's good, but Get It Together, the OG touched and Smooth Moves are like all better. Like, especially coming off of Smooth Moves, which is a very much. I'm pretty sure Move It is very much a sequel to. Smooth Moves is so much better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Japanese title basically, I forget the game's names in Japanese basically confirm that Move It is a follow up to Smooth Moves. So,
plus, it also doesn't help.
Direct comparison, it doesn't.
Yeah, plus it also doesn't help. This is the first game with Wario's new voice, and like he's definitely better in like Mario Kart World or Jamboree, but like his debut was kind of rough. It's like, this is not my Wario.
Yeah, I remember you having a bit of a like about the new voice since Charles Martinet isn't voicing.
Well, I mean, even the time, like the few times Charles Martinet
anymore.
didn't voice Wario, like in Mario Party 1 and 2, it's just like, I can see it. This new guy, when he first debuted, was just like, no, this is not okay. Thankfully, again, as I said, he did get better with Jamboree and Mario Kart World, but like I still dread what's going to happen the next time we get a Wario-focused game and he has to do like actual voice acting instead of just jingles.
I think still to this day, in my opinion, the one that seems the weirdest is the new Luigi voice. There's something about it that just feels a little weird.
I don't know, the new Luigi voice sounds fine to me.
But yeah, also got into a pretty big, because of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD coming out in January, kind of went through both the Returns titles back to back, and they are still both very excellent. Made me actively sad there wasn't a third game I could keep playing, because like even more so than the first time I played it, Tropical Freeze just feels so much like a second game of a trilogy to me. Like, it feels like there should be a third game.
Yeah.
I should be able to go and play now, but there isn't.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a third game developed and just got scrapped for whatever reason or another.
I don't know. That regardless, we know what Retro has been doing. That there's not going to be at least a Donkey Kong Country Returns game anytime
it
soon.
doesn't
Although
help.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 2D Donkey Kong game by some other developer.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say, like, we'll probably see another one by someone else, but as I said before, just with what's going on with Prime 4, it's very clear that most of the talent behind the early Prime games and the two Returns games, that they're long gone, and that studio's been Californianized. Like, I do not honestly care about Retro anymore.
Is it Retro in Texas?
I thought it... Oh, wait, no, it's Austin, Texas, I think. Yeah, let's be fair. Austin, Texas is basically the San Francisco that area.
I mean, yeah.
In Texas?
Yeah. Texas has kind of become the new California, because a lot of...
I mean, I wouldn't say that. It's just parts of Texas, which unfortunately Retro is in. The few parts of Texas that are that way now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I've heard that, like, a lot of their staff are, like, former Halo devs, and, like, after watching... I haven't gotten it yet, but, like, after watching you play a bit of it, it's like, yeah, that definitely looks like Halo now.
Oh.
I mean, I'm still waiting until I get to play through the game fully. Which will.
I mean, I'm not going to judge it too heavily until I play it myself, but, like, my first impressions aren't that good.
No, yeah, and I definitely get in the narrative and rhetoric around it has been very, very negative. It's kind of at times difficult to like separate that from my own personal experiences. I've been finding that just like the narrative online surrounding it.
Well, the narrative online is full of grifters, because a lot of the people debating on it are the same ones that have not shut up about the Switch 2 since the first Direct where it was revealed.
Like, I basically had to do that. I had to basically just ignore online opinions with like Pokemon Legends ZA and just see what my opinion is of it myself. Because like so many people are ragging on that game too.
Yeah, no, this year has been full of Nintendo first party output. This year has been like it's definitely been one of the better years because they had a new console coming out, but like it's still like I feel like outside of Bonanza, it was a lot of 8 out of 10. I mean, literally they're all great, like 8 out of 10 games. I think I generally agree with those ratings, but that just means people just find the most random BS to like poke at and
Well, it also doesn't.
tug at and make problems of, and
It
it's
also
just
doesn't help that they're using that to like go off the whole narrative about like you being overpriced. Which like yes, I agree with stuff is overpriced right now, but
Mm-hmm.
just the problem is like a lot of these games were either clearly started as Switch One games or confirmed to start as Switch One games, and it's like yeah, I can kind of see it. ZA should not have been $70.
Nope.
I'd also kind of feel like in that regard, I don't know. Again, how you approach ZA, as Kit was mentioning, I feel does a lot to how you feel about it. Because if you're approaching ZA as the Legends Arceus follow-up and only as that, I think you might be a tiny bit disappointed. Because
Yeah.
like as a direct follow-up to Legends Arceus, I think there's a lot of aspects in which ZA falls flat. But for me, approaching it as finally getting Pokemon Z has kind of helped my opinion of it. So it's kind of like, okay, yeah, this definitely feels like that sort of like extra bookend to Gen 6 that it should have had a decade ago.
Yeah,
But now
honestly,
that
they should have just called it
it's kinda
Pokemon
like,
Z instead of Legend ZA.
but yeah. But I did, going back to Donkey Kong, I did end up playing through Ukulele and the Impossible Lair as kind of like a pseudo.
I still need to play
Okay,
that.
if there isn't a third one, then I can at least play for this one. And like as a 2D side scroller that's pretty similar to Donkey Kong Country, I feel like that game did a really good job. Especially with its titular Impossible Lair, that's final level is just really, really fun to go through and has a lot of really cool set pieces. Just like it's no Donkey Kong Country Returns 3, but given that there probably will never be one, it's probably an easy enough substitute that I'll probably go back to the next time I do play through the Country Returns games again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe one day we can get Returns 3, but beyond that. Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to remember. The Impossible Layer is that actually a sequel to Ukulele or not?
It's like a pseudo sequel from what I could tell.
It's I don't know actually, but it is not, outside of having the characters, it's not like it's directly connected any more than Mario 64 is connected to Super Mario World.
Yeah,
Right.
like I said, it's just more of a pseudo sequel.
Because like I had at one point considered picking up Ukulele.
I mean, you can
But
now
then
because apparently, from what I've seen, the remake fixes a lot of its issues.
Yeah, I haven't gone.
Yeah,
to play
that's
the
what
remake
I've
either,
heard.
but I'm
So it's
definitely
like, oh, I should probably
curious
wait.
to check it out when it gets the Switches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
Yeah,
swap
that's
out
what
the
I've
music
heard.
because the playlist ended.
No.
Now I got
Great
Animal
playlist.
Crossing playing.
Me over here being like, I can't hear a lick of this music.
Yeah,
which
no,
It
is
might be
we
for
weird.
the better because you can
We
hear.
cannot hear the music.
It's probably for the better so we can hear each other better. Like I can hear you two fine, but I don't know about you two.
Fair enough. We've been sitting in silence this whole time.
Yeah.
No, that would be really. I would be really sad if, like, I, for whatever reason, something shat out in the recording was just nah. So guess what? We gotta do that whole thing again.
Pretty
Oh,
much after March for me, it was a lot of cleanup for Switch 2 prep to get some of the stuff I wanted out of the way, so I could just focus on the stuff coming out for Switch 2 when it came out. And in that regard, I did really enjoy once we finally got to the Switch 2. Like, Mario Kart World is not a perfect Mario Kart game by any means, but I still like
Yeah, it's fun.
I really enjoy its new movement options. I do enjoy wandering around with the open world. Its soundtrack is absolutely stellar.
Oh yeah, that
So it's
was
like
they went hard on that one.
it's hard for it to live up to a game that had a decade's worth of work behind it, 96 courses, a ton of
That and its racing
character.
mechanics were about as perfect, close to being perfect as it could get.
Yeah, so it's like I definitely get where for some it was a bit disappointing to come from 8 Deluxe into World and World not be this amazing thing, especially given that they were putting it for
And the fact that it's
$80. But I
$80.
don't know. I personally think I got my $80 worth out of it. Now, do I agree that it should be priced at that? No, not at all. But like, at least for me personally, I think I've gone $80 worth of value out of.
I mean, I don't think I have, but like, I think I
World.
will at some point because it is a game you go back to and like play online from time to time, like we did with um 8. Even after all the booster courses came out, we played through all the Grand Prix on those, and then we still went back and played online through that until World came out. So like,
Yeah,
I
it's just
probably
like
we probably both put over several hundred hours into Mario Kart 8. And I'm sure World will get that some point, but not yet, especially since it doesn't, at least for now, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting any sort of booster pass. I would not be surprised if we did, maybe halfway into the Switch's lifestyle, we see like something to revitalize the game. But right now, it's like, it's not as good as 8, it never will be. But as something that was doing something a bit different, yeah, it's a pretty good game. Got more hate than deserved. Definitely did not need to be $80, especially since this came off of Switch 1 development. But do not agree with a lot of the narratives surrounding the game. It's good.
Yeah, my experience, unfortunately, is very limited in regards to World, because the only time I've been able to play it was when I was visiting Chigger this summer, because I don't own a Switch 2. I couldn't afford one even if I saw much of an interest right now, because, like, going on a brief tangent here for a second, I just currently don't see a lot of desire to pick up a Switch 2 because there's just not very many exclusives currently out that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to play that.
Well, it doesn't help that, like, big reason I bought it at launch is because I could have backwards compatibility with like games that got either got like patches, or games that were just like boosted to have better stable frame rates on the game's native capabilities to do so, which I've had mixed results with, but I kind of prefer playing backwards compatibility through that, although like not having the OLED screen kind of sucks when the few times I've been playing handheld, but it is what it is. But like, outside of like Obamacon and World, there's not a whole lot of reason to go out and buy one apart from like the games that've gotten dual releases and are just like better on the Switch too, like ZA. Not that I'm saying you should pay $70 for that one, but like I did find a copy for $60, so it's like, yeah, I found it for more or less the same price. I'll take the one with boosted frame rates and improved visuals, sure.
I definitely agree if you're doing backwards compatible stuff that not having the OLED kind of stings. For the stuff that is running at the native screen resolution of 1080p, I do think it is an improvement. But when you have stuff that's not running at 1080p, it's kind of like, no, this is...
Yeah, but I've been playing most of mine on the TV. It's just like when I play Pokemon Friends, like I'll usually take it out and sit and lean back for like a few minutes and I play that, and then it's just like, yeah, I miss the OLED screen.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll get a revision eventually, but like at the same time, we talk about it being expensive now. I don't know if you guys have seen the Legion Go 2 prices with the OLED. That shit's like $1,200, and it's like calling it comparable to Switch 2 hardware would be a lie. Like, it is definitely a step up, but it's not like this huge step up either. So like, I feel like if we had a Switch 2 with an OLED screen, it would be easily like $700 or something.
Probably.
It would be expensive. So I definitely understand this decision not to have an OLED screen at this time until it is cheaper to manufacture one.
Yeah. like off the top of my head, the only thing like I can think of them like thinking, oh yeah, I know that's gonna be Switch 2 only, and I want to pick that up at some point is like Splatoon Raiders, but we know next to nothing about that game,
Or when
and
it's
we
coming
most
out.
definitely do. And yeah, we definitely don't know when it's coming out. My guess is sometime maybe this next summer in 2026, but I don't know.
I hope it's next summer. Otherwise, I will have not known why they revealed the game so early. But then again, they revealed Splatoon 3 like mad early too.
They
in
also
comparison
revealed the
to
DLC for that way earlier than they should have.
Yep.
when it came out. So they have been on a roll of revealing things kind of early. But I don't know. I'm also kind of just. It helps me sometimes to know, being as Splatoon brained as I am, that there is like something new Splatoon coming eventually. So I can kind of
Yeah.
like have something in the background to be looking forward to, because I definitely like when there isn't a new Splatoon thing, like that stretch of Splatoon 2. Especially like I needed that Splatoon 3 announcement when it happened. But like that stretch going into 2020, 2021 after Animal Crossing was just like, man, wish I had a new Splatoon thing to look forward to right now.
What's funny is like the first initial announcement of 3 coming out. Like I was watching it with one of my siblings, and I was like, "Is this a DLC for 2?" Like I didn't think it was going to be a new game, because like, is it a DLC? Like I legit wasn't thinking, "Oh, this is a new game," until they're like, "Nope, it's a new game."
Until that title drop. Yeah, I think it was kind of in the back of a lot of people's minds watching reactions from back in the day. It was just like some people were like, oh yeah, absolutely, this is the next Splatoon game. But a lot of other people like DLC single player spin-off, and then they did the title drop and it's like, okay, yeah, this is the next Splatoon game.
I mean, I am actually kind of surprised that we are getting a single player experience, because I honestly just didn't see that ever being a thing.
I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm just surprised that it's not like a radically different spin-off. Like like I've said this before. Like my dream spin-off would have been like a Mario and Rabbids style like game where it's just kind of like XCOM but Splatoon.
Man,
Right.
I saw someone do like an XCOM style salmon run draw up all those years ago, and
Yeah,
like
you
every once in
posted
a while
that.
my brain thinks to that and just like, oh, I need that. Because the ink mechanics in Splatoon would work so well in a strategy game like that.
Yeah, I know.
So
Right.
I'm sad that they never did that.
well, we still have time. It could be something that happens eventually.
Yeah, there's very little details still about Rares. Like, sadly, we're probably not going to see anything about Rares until, like, maybe January or February. Because it's looking like we're not getting another direct before the end of the year by this point.
I
Well,
mean,
a
we're at the
small
end of the year. I don't think we're
possibility,
getting one
but I
past
highly doubt
January at the earliest.
highly doubt it would be Splatoon, but there is a non-zero possibility we get some sort of Nintendo announcement tomorrow during the Game Awards.
Probably pretty
I
low
mean,
though.
Would probably not be. Its odds are low for that in general, but I think even if they were, Splatoon is not a Western audience. Like, is just not as big with the Western audience, so
Yes,
I don't think they would do.
I
the
was about to
last
say.
time that I recall Nintendo doing anything at the Game Awards was when they announced Joker for
Yeah,
Smash
I
Ultimate.
believe so.
And that was what, like, at least 4 or so years ago now?
That was 2018.
Oh no, it's
Anyways,
even worse.
what other clears have you been working on?
But yeah,
You're over here being like, please, let's get back
I
on.
do not want to talk
Let's.
about the woke awards, okay?
no, this is fair enough.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, I still need to go back through and replay it at some point. But the further away I get from Bonanza, the more positive I feel about it compared to how I feel about how I felt about it when I initially beat it. Where it's just like, I think it does have some really cool mechanics going on for it, and does stuff to substantiate it from Mario Odyssey and other 3D platformers to give it its own space. So it's very Odyssey-esque, but it's also, I feel like if you go into Bonanza expecting Odyssey, you're gonna be
You're-
disappointed. And
Mhm.
likewise with if I go into Odyssey expecting Bonanza, like they're both providing different things. So I can respect both for being their own experiences. There's something I kind of got from Odyssey replaying it that I kind of wish Bonanza had more of an aspect of, was because of the Luigi Balloon World stuff in Odyssey. There's a bit of like kind of like a community of things going on in Odyssey that you feel a bit more connected to other players doing stuff that of course Bonanza doesn't have as much. But at the same time, I think the Emerald Rush is obviously the equivalent for Bonanza, and the Emerald Rush is also very good.
It doesn't help that
Kind of
that's 20
pushes that
fucking
game's
dollars though.
mechanic.
That DLC should not have been $20.
It shouldn't be $20, but it's also, putting that aside, the DLC itself is very good and does push the pre-existing mechanics to their limits, in my opinion. I kind of feel like it does exactly what I would want a Donkey Kong Bonanza post game to be doing, so I can't really fault it too much. It just should have been the post game and not the DLC.
I can't say much about Bonanza because I feel like I need to actually play it in first player one's position because my experience so far with it is just playing it as player 2, which is just playing as Pauline and
You be
shouting
doing
at
what I did
things,
for Ian and beating the bosses for me.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't every boss. But yeah. And there was definitely like one section I could think of off the top of my head where like legit I was just sitting there doing nothing. I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward. I guess I'll just sit here. So that's why it was not in my list of game clearing, because it's like I don't think I could just finally
that's
put
fair.
that on my list because Pauline does a lot less stuff than the main character does.
Yeah.
She is literally just there for the ride.
I mean, it's still, it's more than fair, but at least it's like a more feasible co-op experience than like freaking what Odyssey's quote-unquote co-op did, or Pikmin 4's.
Oh, yeah.
Pikmin 4's co-op made me sad. You had such a making the second player Ochi was such an easy layup, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't get what's up with that decision. It's like they took one step more than 2 steps back between the Pikmin 3 Deluxe version and then Pikmin 4 when it comes to like co-op experience. Like, huh?
Yeah. You know, especially since having just Ochi would have still been a bit of a downgrade from Freeze co-op, because of course you're not having like literally control of a full captain yourself. Same with like Hughes, that like you're just not.
What part of stop did you not understand?
I mean, like,
control of a full captain.
I was recording something. What is it?
I mean, I will say I have not actually
Alright.
played the deluxe version of 3
Leave
yet.
it open.
Alright, that's all.
Leave it open.
Or especially the multiplayer of that as well. So.
People in this house do not understand what waving your arms means.
Damn.
You need to put a sign.
Apparently.
They would ignore the sign too.
Yep.
They'd be like,
you know how boomers are.
My folks at least listen to the sign. But anyways.
Yeah. Beyond that, just a couple of additional games I probably won't be talking about in our later discussion I kind of want to touch upon. But like, Air Riders, pretty good. I was enjoying Air Riders quite a lot. Unfortunately, I'm having to put it on the back burner a bit because of Prime 4 and then Mega Dimensions. So it's just like, may not be able to get back to Air Riders again anytime soon, but I was quite enjoying what I did play of it, and it's definitely a really fun party/racing game.
I'm just having
Feels
that
like
one.
me.
I'm just having that one scene from what is it, Toy Story 2, where Andy's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. But instead of Woody, it's just Kirby Air Riders falling into the abyss.
I mean,
But I
there's no
do wanna
reason to
play
play
a
Air
Kirby
Riders
Air.
1 now.
Or well, it's just Air Ride.
Air Ride, whatever.
No, I meant Air Riders.
No, I think she was referring to me like needing to drop it to play Metroid
Oh,
Prime 4
right.
and then
Yeah.
Mega
Yes.
Dimensions. It's not that I don't want to play it anymore. It's just I have limited time in the day, and
I mean,
I kind
yeah,
of want
no,
to.
I can relate to that
It's
so
not
much.
not quite FOMO per. Or well, I guess it kind of is FOMO, but like in regards to like this is kind of the moment people are playing those right now, and I feel like if I'm going back and playing the especially Mega Dimensions like a couple months from now, I won't have the fun of getting to like see the community discover stuff about it too.
My frustration with every Pokemon game is just people spoiling new forms
Yeah.
or whatever. I have only been able to play like maybe a grand total of 20 to 30 minutes of the new DLC, and I've already been spoiled about one thing. I'm like, man, come on.
That's why you stay off the internet, or especially YouTube.
But yeah, this I was really enjoying. Again, a lot of people are going to have had a very different experience of this year than I did in general, because I'm pretty much, you have a game published by Nintendo and I'm probably gonna eat it up or at least give it a shot. So for me, going from like October to December here has just been non-stop of it was ZA and then the Hyrule Warriors game and then Air Riders and then Metroid Prime and the Pokemon DLC. So like circling back over to ZA after all of it, and just kind of like I've been non-stop playing stuff. I've been fed.
You eating
Which is
good.
like, yeah, I'm eating good, and not all of these are 9 out of
Bangers.
10 or even 8 out of 10 experiences, but they're keeping me occupied. Again, the more time I get away from after I beat Age of Imprisonment, it's kind of like I think I kind of preferred Age of Calamity quite a lot more, even though it had the problems of its time traveling shenanigans. But like, I mean, the whole like, yeah, it's just like gave me more reason to care about its characters, and like its Divine Beast segments in comparison to Age of Imprisonment has the like Star Fox-esque Link construct segments. Is like the Divine Beasts had like story reasons for why I thought they were like from Breath of the Wild. I thought it was really cool to be able to control Divine Beast finally, versus this, which is kind of like I mean, I could control a construct in Tears, so I'm not really. You weren't flying, but I mean, you could be flying if you wanted to.
Me over here who has still not played Tears yet. Just awkwardly sitting here.
But yeah, I definitely recommend Tears. Don't know if I recommend Age of Imprisonment, especially since I know you're already not a huge Muso Warriors game fan. So it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah,
I have my
just
opinions
like
on Tears, so.
I every time I see a new Warriors game of some fashion, whether it's Zelda or whatever, I'm just like, that looks boring. I don't think I'll like that.
I would definitely recommend at least trying out one at some point. But yeah, it is like, it's definitely a sort of thing where if it ain't your cup of tea, it really is not your cup of tea.
I mean, it's not.
Well, like-
Warriors games definitely aren't my cup of tea, but I still enjoyed the. Maybe not so much Age of Calamity, but I still enjoyed like Hyrule Warriors 1 and both of the Fire Emblem ones.
Well, like, I've seen a decent chunk of the beginning of, I forget which, of the Fire Emblem Warriors games, and I was just like, this looks so boring. It's just fighting.
If it was OG Fire Emblem Warriors, and yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that.
I
I
think
prefer
it
OG Fire.
was.
I prefer OG over the second one.
It's whichever one had a bunch of, like, cameos of various Fire Emblem characters.
Yeah, it was the
from...
OG one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that game story was not good.
It's just like, I was just watching, I'm like, it just looks like you're just fighting like hundreds of swarms of enemies just for the sake of fighting hundreds and hundreds of swarms of enemies. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
there are-
mm-mm.
I mean,
There
say
are
what you want
definitely
about the
original
OG
games with
story.
better
It's better than
stories.
just, oh, we're gonna end it now, so bye.
Oh no! I don't. Oh, don't get me. That wasn't me trying to defend Free Hope's story. By the way, don't get me wrong there. Just, I feel like in comparison, I think in a vacuum, like you watch a singular cutscene from Free Hopes versus a singular cutscene from the original Fire Emblem Warriors, that Free Hopes is going to generally come out a bit more interesting and engaging than the OG did, because again that story was just not very engaging to begin with. But yeah, no, both of them overall, considering the stories as a whole, are just like not very good narratives.
I mean, I'll be fair. None of the Nintendo Warriors spin-offs have had decent narratives. Like, okay, Age of Calamity could have had one if they had just stuck with like what they showed it off as a prequel, but no, we're gonna introduce time traveling and turn it into a big what if story. So, that got torpedoed.
I mean, what if stories can be do well, but it sounds a bit.
Not
was
when
not
it's
one of those.
not when it's like displayed as a prequel, but then it's like, ha, you thought.
Hmm.
Like at least the original Hyrule Warriors, it was very clear from the start that it was a non-canonical story and its own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've been pretty well enjoying this last stretch of the year here, and it's been giving me a lot of things to look forward to as well. I've been going back to playing Animal Crossing daily since they had the update announcement, and that's been a fun time as well. I kind of like New Horizons is not and was never the Animal Crossing game I wanted it to be, but like over the past half decade, I feel like I've come way more to accept it as the Animal Crossing game it is, because there are some really neat things it does. Like the design aspects are really, some points are second to none in regards to any game design wise. Like there's just so much customization you can do, and so much you can do with your islands that like I don't even have the artistic ability to scratch the surface of.
Yeah, and it's not
you could
broken
do
like
so
The
many
Sims.
cool with New Horizons. I think it's for what it does a good job. It's not quite, again, as I said, it's not quite the Animal Crossing game I wanted it to be, but like that's fine. It's still a pretty darn solid Animal Crossing game, and one I've been having quite a lot of fun going back to and spending some time with, and I'm definitely looking forward to that new update. Shame it couldn't have been Tortimer's Island. They were really teasing me this time.
He's dead.
That's okay.
Oh wait,
No, he's not. He's not dead.
he's
I
gonna
can
be
see him
dead in the
every day
next
if I
one.
want.
I'm just like over here being like, I'm really surprised that New Horizons even got an update.
Yeah, I think we all
like,
are.
Cause like I'm pretty sure previously they said, "Oh yeah, no, we're done for real this
Oh yeah,
time."
no, they said the 2.0 update was the last update. To be fair, I think they
that
meant
was
it.
a lie.
I think they meant it. It wasn't necessarily a lie. Just things changed.
Maybe, yeah, that's
I
true.
think they did mean it at that time, but obviously, 'cause I don't think like that was 2021. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think the Switch 2 hardware was like that far in development at that time for them to be considering, well, we need to make an update to Animal Crossing New Horizons for Switch 2.
Probably not.
I mean, that's why I made
They
the
were probably
comment.
working on Splatoon 3.
As I say, that's why I made the comment when they said like Splatoon 3 was going to be like the last one within that. Well, I mean, I took it as just like the last one, but like it's been like apparently that was like I guess a mistranslation or something, but it's like the last one of that story. But at the time, I was like, yeah, that's what you could say until Nintendo gives you the bitch slap and be like, bitch, you're making another one.
I would say,
No,
to
I
me,
always-
it felt pretty clear that they were saying it was the last part of the Squid Beak Splatoon story.
Yeah, that's how I always took it too.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we are wrapping the chapter on these characters, so we can finally
Which, yeah,
move
that-
on to
Which
new ones.
which even still, Nintendo could be like,
I mean, yeah, they could. They could.
Possibly. I don't know. I'm still kind of, not to go on a whole nother Splatoon tangent here, but I'm still kind of hopeful that the next Splatoon game is kind of like set on a different continent. Like, I just want a Splatoon game that's kind of like completely detached from what we currently know.
I mean, after how
So
bad
we can
Splatoon
see
3's
another
story
part of
was,
the
I have
world.
to agree.
Just
Well-
like let's completely detach ourselves and not necessarily
I
start
mean,
over,
that's-
but let's see a different aspect, a different culture.
I mean, that's fair, because, like, in theory, the area where the first 3 Splatoon games take place, which is Japan,
yeah.
there's gotta be other, like, groups of Inklings and Octolings elsewhere.
Splatoon.
No, yeah, they've,
Splatoon Fallout Edition.
They've alluded to as much within. I know the art books aren't necessarily canon, but there's other instances where they've alluded to the
Oh man, too
idea
bad Lonnie's
that,
not
you
here,
know, like
so I could
ban-
feed her the line again.
bans
Oh,
and
yes.
stuff pouring around that just kind of like, yeah, there's definitely some other stuff going on in those continents. I would obviously a bit biased here, but I would not be against a Splatoon game set in what came of America.
Splatoon.
I mean,
that's why I said
if
Splatoon
we-
Fallout Edition. Todd Howard can milk
Yeah.
the shit out of that one.
I mean, logistically speaking, if we're talking about, like, the apocalypse that happens prior to the story of Splatoon, America would be one of the most likely continents to still have landmass as
Yeah.
above the water. So, I mean, there's other countries too, of course.
But yeah, I think that pretty well enjoying the end of the year here. Have a bunch of things to be looking forward to next year. So, or why, I don't know if I'd say a bunch, but you know, a good number of things to be looking forward to next year. So I'm overall this year, I'm sitting pretty happy with what I've played through and looking forward to next year quite a bit. So I think pretty darn content with this year. Could have definitely been a lot better. Could have definitely been a lot worse.
I think both of us can relate to that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now that I actually finally bought that final DLC, since it was on sale, I need to actually sit down and play through Mech Warrior 5 now that it's not the same game it was when it was first launched.
Yeah, my dad has been. I bought another complete tangent, but I bought my dad last Christmas like a flight stick, essentially, like, you know, like one of the setups for the something is set up for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but you could easily retool it to be like a Battletech pod. So he has like the stick, pedals, the I forget what it's called, but you know, like the thing you would like pull back and forth to brake and
You mean
move
the
forward.
you mean
The throttle?
the throttle?
I think the throttle is what I mean. Yeah, I think throttle is the word I'm looking for. Because he's got the joystick, the throttle, the pedals. My dad has been playing a heck of a lot of Mech Warrior.
I was about to say, if he's got the full setup, then that's great. But like, I've tried playing, I think it was 2 with just the joystick, and it's just like, no, this just does not work.
No, yeah, you gotta have the full setup for it to work. But once you do have the full setup, it's pretty great, and he's been getting a heck of a lot out of it. So,
Yeah,
you know,
and
like,
again,
I
five
personally
five
have
is not the
fun.
game it used to be, from what I could tell. Because when 5 launched, it was like, oh, this is not very good.
They have time to fix it, as well as there's clans now.
Yeah,
so-
I was about to say, Clans was like a great way to come off of that. The Clans isn't the greatest thing either, but like it's a hell of a lot better than when 5 first launched.
But yeah, we can move on to the next section.
So, for our game of the year and new experience of the year, let me just change my thingy real quick. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. So I actually don't have that many games that were... Well, I didn't clear that many games that were released in 2025. Looking at the ones I had, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Skipping those because those are just remasters. 9, 10. I only played through like 10 games that came out this year, and one of those was Country Returns HD. And one of those was the Welcome Tour, for crying out loud. So
I would not personally count that, but okay.
Of the 8 that
No, it counts.
Of the 8 that I did play through, or at least that weren't, I didn't play through as like, oh, I'm trying it before I buy it, quote unquote. Take that as you will. I'm going to say like my 2025 of the year is Bonanza. Like, I agree with a lot of what you said, but it's just like they took Odyssey, which I thought was a good game, but it was overrated and not really what I wanted from a 3D Mario because how unrewarding the moons are to find. It's just like you walk forward, it's like, ooh yeah, that's really fun. Great gameplay there. But just the way they hit them, there's still like too many damn bananas, but like there's just the way you go, the progression and the way you go about getting them is just so much better than Odyssey. To where it's just like it's still not what I want from like a Nintendo 3D platformer, but it's an experience that I very much enjoyed. My main complaint for it is the fact that it's still, like, too easy. Like, some of the late stages can be tough, sure, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, just Donkey Kong and being, like, easier is just not something you really see together, especially coming off the country games, both the rare ones and returns. But putting it a bit more in a vacuum, like, I really enjoyed playing through it. And it is kind of fun doing it in co-op, even though that does make the game even easier. So I'm going to say for my 2025, it's Bonanza. Now for my new experience, I'm going to have to go with Astrobot. Like, I know that's a bit of a cop-out because, that was the 2024 winner at the actual quote-unquote Game Awards, and most people are drooling over that, as it were. But maybe that is a tad bit overrated, but for the most part, I think it deserves it. It's, as I said before, it's like, it is comparable to the 3D Marios and better than a few of them, honestly. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Bonanza and Astrobot for me.
3D platformers clear.
Yeah, apparently.
I guess I should go next, huh?
Yeah.
Well, here's the really awkward thing for me. If any folks have noticed, I literally only list one thing that came out this year that I played, and that was Legends ZA. So that has to be my game of the year by default, I guess.
But it's not a game you give it to begrudgingly, though.
No, it's not. Like, I still enjoyed it. Like, especially once I was like, okay, I'm just gonna ignore everybody's opinions on it and just play through it myself. And I had a good time. And it just felt like so many people were just trying to come up with things to complain about with that game, which is just like, really?
I mean, it does have issues, like its world is like smaller than Arceus.
Yeah, it does.
And it's very empty. The NPCs are standing like in the fucking middle of the road for some reason. Like, I'm not gonna say that game does not have issues, but it's not like this thing they just shout out like a lot of the YouTube grifters are making out to be. I think it's a good game.
Yeah, and like the only other complaint I would personally say about Pokemon Legends Z8 is some of the controls can get a little clunky at times. And I think that's just kind of growing pains of like trying to figure out a more real-time strategy gameplay style more than anything. So I can forgive some of the wonkiness of controls because of that, I feel. But and is there an echo in this room? Cause Astrobot, sorry. Astrobot, it has to be my game of the year, hands down. It was so fun.
You mean new experience of the year?
Or yeah, new experience of the year. It would be my game of the year if we were doing this last year.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, like I probably could have done every single stage on my own if I wasn't like rushing through it, just because, time limit. I'm only there a certain amount of time, and then I would have to head home.
I mean, I wouldn't even say you're really rushing through it. It's just like you couldn't really like take your time with it, like play it through completion
Yeah.
like I did.
But unlike Warrior Shake It, I still enjoyed it, even though I was kind of like couldn't take my time as much as I would like for some of those challenge stages. And I did at least beat some of the challenge stages on my own. So there. So yeah, it's Pokemon Legends CA and Astrobot.
I think I'm kind of in a bit of a same situation with Kit, wherein like my new experience of the year would have been my game of the year if it had released this year, but it did not, and alas would be disingenuous. Although my game of the year is also like excellent, but I would say like my favorite new release of this year would have to be Hollow Knight Silk Song, because that is just. I didn't think it was gonna come as close, if not just outright beating Dread for me, as it did. But like, man, that it's so fun to move in that game, and it hits that perfect balance that Dread did as well between like the linearity of the map design and the level design, as well as still giving room to explore. It's kind of like just like a GPS, especially with Silk Song, more so with Dread, where if you end up going off in the quote unquote wrong direction, it'll just redirect you someplace else. Like you're still always moving towards where you need to go some way, somehow. You're always working towards something. It's just because the map is so densely packed with things to do. Like there's always a boss to fight, a new item to pick up, or something that's just like it's so fun to explore, so fun to play through. I just really enjoyed that game, and I'm definitely going to need to give Dread a good solid replay when I get an opportunity, because like I don't know yet if it has usurped Dread yet as my favorite Metroidvania, but if it hasn't, it's come darned close to doing so. It's like ticking all those boxes for me.
I honestly expected you to
until you
talk
hit the save
a
point.
lot more about Silk Song earlier.
Until you hit that save bench, though.
I don't know though. It's like even then, there's only really 2 instances of that in the game, and like yeah, I don't like that as game design. And there's a lot of instances of like Silk Song is not a perfect game in my opinion. It has a couple of really fucking annoying enemy gauntlets. They're just kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I could, especially one in the really late games, I don't know if I could call that well designed. Certainly challenging, but I don't know if I would call it good game design. But it's just
I mean,
like,
I wouldn't
no
consider
game's gonna be
Astrobot
perfect.
either as a perfect game.
Yeah.
Same.
Is it a good, really, really good game? Yes, it is. I don't think it's perfect. That being said,
Yeah,
I would
I'd give
probably
Astrobot
complain
a
more
solid
about
9.
the. Well, I actually gave it a 9.5 myself, but honestly, I would have more complaints about the controller itself, funnily enough, because that controller was hurting my hands real good.
Oh man, the DualSense?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I haven't played Astrobot with it, but like, I really like the DualSense controller.
There's
as
a
whole.
bunch of stuff they make you use the trigger buttons for, which is what was hurting me the most.
Gotcha.
Like, I was having a ton of time where I was like, didn't notice, but like every time we were like, okay, let's take a break, I put the controller down, like, oh, my hands hurt. Uh-oh.
I like how, since we're talking about the DualSense, I immediately went to pick up my DualSense. Now I'm just holding it. just imagining playing Astrobot, if only they ported Astrobot to PC.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, it took them, Spider-Man 2 came out in 2023 and was ported the beginning of this year. So, like, we're reaching that time frame. I'm going to give up on it if come, like, 6 months from now we've still heard nothing of it. Then they'll be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, but Astrobot's so much more like, this is our game coded than fucking Spider-Man does. Plus, it's like, the way he uses the DualSense is like actual controller mechanics. It's just like, yeah, you'd probably have to like actually buy a DualSense. Unless they fundamentally change certain things, you'd have to like actually buy a DualSense. I just don't see that porting either that or Astro's Playroom.
And yeah, I can definitely get that. I definitely don't see them porting Astro's Playroom because that's a PS5 showcase. Like they just wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
But I
pretty
definitely
much.
get what you're saying about Astrobot. But I don't know, I'm holding out a tiny bit of hope still that it'll eventually get ported over. If not, I'll just have to hope the next generation of PlayStation is a bit more appealing to me personally in that I can just play it off of backwards compatibility someday.
Yeah. So we know your game of the year. What's your new experience of the year?
Well, you probably know my new experience of the year as well. But yeah, I really bloody enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles X when I played through it. And like I'm already like I kind of knew in general I was gonna enjoy it because I enjoyed all of the Xenoblade games up to it. So it's kind of like I am definitely not unfamiliar with the series. It's definitely within that same amount of gameplay loop. But the thing I was really surprised about was the game's world building, especially in comparison. Because all the Xenoblade games are basically set within New World, so they all kind of have to do their own bit of world building. But this one is kind of like entirely based off the New World. The other games have like story beats that can kind of like, I don't want to say like carry them, but like it can kind of make up for some lack of world building there. But like Xenoblade X does not have those kind of story beats, so it's like purely based off the world. But the world of Mira, which is what that world is called, is just so interesting, and they flesh it out so well within the side quests. I think I've probably talked about this once or twice, but like the big thing is they have this hub area called New LA or New Los Angeles in LA, and they kind of just basically converge all the races that found this planet or have ended up on this planet together, and you have a bunch of really interesting cultural interactions because of that. And the one that keeps sticking with me is the one side quest that's literally a genocide of these small alien creatures. Just like this, just humans are going about and just getting them into a cult to kill them off. And it's really curious because you rarely see that sort of represented in the game, especially passed off as so unserious. It wasn't like making a huge deal of the fact that it was a genocide. They were just killing a bunch of them. It's kind of like it's not funny, but it's also kind of fun.
Oh man, I love my genocide. What are you talking about?
Me over here thinking, you probably want to have like some sort of warning of, hey, we're probably going to talk about a lot of spoilers in this video.
I mean, it's I don't think it's a direct. It's a side quest. I think it's not going to be direct spoiling too much outside of that specific side quest.
Not to mention
like,
most of the games we've gone into detail have not come out that or have come out way beyond this year. I think it's
Xenoblade X is over a
if
decade
they don't
old.
pause the video, it's at that point it's their own fault.
But yeah, no, it's just like that's kind of the shining example of just like a side quest from that game, kind of fleshing out these characters in a way I didn't really expect it to. But just like you can definitely see wherein Monolith Soft had a hand in Breath of the Wild, because you can see a lot of Breath of the Wild concepts in Mira, because it's a full-on open map, right? Like Breath of the Wild. It's a lot more linear, because if you wander off to some place you're not supposed to be, you're gonna get the shit beat out of you by a level 120 or something. So that is just a Xenoblade experience, because there's a level 120s in the goddamn starting area most of the time. So like, shit happens.
It's the Alpha Rapidash from Arceus all over again.
Yes, it's pretty much exactly that, where you're gonna have. But it's just like, because of that, it's a lot more linear. But once you're pretty leveled up, it's kind of like it's fun to explore the areas. You can definitely see a lot where Breath of the Wild was inspired by it a bit, or at least Monolith Soft took some aspects from X and put them into Breath of the Wild. But it's just like world design wise, it got me to care about the people and things living on this planet a lot more than I think I have about a lot of other worlds. That makes it a real shame when Boyor stuff happens, I guess. But yeah, no, that is definitely my favorite experience this year, because like I knew going into it that I was probably going to enjoy it, but I didn't think it was gonna like hook me in quite the way it did. But I still just like really enjoyed its world building. I'm not usually super big into doing side quests personally. I'm usually a main story, just chuck for the main stories, get to the credits kind of guy.
Depends on the
And
game
that's
for me.
something of note
Meanwhile,
about
I'm just like, oh yeah, no, you piece of candy, I'm gonna grab that candy.
And I think
Assuming
that's
it
something
doesn't
with,
seem too annoying.
Silk Song as well, where it's just like I'm not super into side quests, but in both these cases, these games side quests really hooked me in, and I think I kind of enjoyed them more because of it. So it's kind of like maybe I should be putting more time into these side quests. Who knows? But it's just kind of like I just really enjoyed being in that world. I would love to see more games of that kind of ilk that just build up the world to be like, same in like stories and such, where it's its own living, breathing place outside of the pages. You were saying, Kit?
Well, I was actually gonna make a comment of, honestly, I thought you had finished that last year. I didn't realize you hadn't finished it until this year.
I didn't play it until this year? Or
No, I thought you had finished it last year.
Xenoblade?
Yeah, because didn't that come out?
I didn't play it on Switch until March. It didn't come out on Switch until March of this
Was
year.
that this year? Oh.
Yeah, it was March 20th.
Oh, wow. I mean, to
it-
be fair,
March
I
until,
had
like, a
stuff
year ago.
going on.
Yeah,
I
no,
had stuff going on in March, so I guess I should not be surprised that I'm like, did that come out this year?
Yeah, no. Sometimes the beginning of 2025 can feel like it was 2024.
Yeah.
So much stuff has happened between now and then.
I mean, you and I both had some serious stuff going on earlier this year.
Yeah, glad we're all past that. Hopefully.
I am so looking forward to looking at 2025 in the back of the mirror, so to speak.
We are ready for 2026. Only 21 days to go. 3 weeks left.
Pretty much.
But yeah, we've talked about our backlog clears for the year. We've talked about our game of the year for 2025's release, in which we had Silk Song, ZA, and Bonanza. Which, man, this is really not a good year for shooters or RPGs.
Nope.
I mean, have you touched Arc Raiders at all?
I have no interest in that.
Maybe Arc Raiders would maybe be in there. I haven't really.
I have no interest in extraction shooters. They can all suck a big one.
Fair enough.
Nah, like, I do not like that kind of shit.
And there was a new Doom game this year.
Yeah, and I still have yet to play it because I was going to pick it while it was on sale. I was like, you know what? I'll just wait until the damn DLC comes out now that they've finally announced it.
Oh, they finally announced DLC for it?
I'm pretty sure I read they did.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, there was a new Doom game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in May.
And I'm not really enthused about it either because I didn't particularly like Eternal that much. But yeah, anyways, we've had, we talked about our new experiences. So we've had 2 for Astrobot in that one, and then 1 for Xenoblade. Which means, like, doing this last year would have been a rather monotonous topic. But yeah,
Probably.
we're gonna end it there, and maybe we'll reconvene and do this again next year. We'll see.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, same. Glad I was here.